Today, let's talk about spark plugs. I want to help you guys understand what it means when you find the different conditions of your spark plugs when you pull them out. What does it mean when your tip is black? What does it mean when your tip is, slightly orange to white? And also, what is the difference between a single contact spark plug like this one and one that has multiple ground electrodes like this other one? But all the information that I'm about to give you is going to apply to any petrol engine. So let's get into this video. So first off, let's start by understanding what a spark plug is. Basically, a spark plug is a device that is used to ignite or spark the air fuel mixture that goes into your engine. So like I explained to you in the ignition coil video, the ignition coil sits on top of the spark plug, and all that electricity that the ignition coil generates then passes through the spark plug through the electrode, which is this white, this part that is surrounded by white in the middle. It goes through that part, and then the spark jumps this tiny gap here to make that spark that ignites the air fuel mixture in your car. So quickly, let's take a look at the difference between a spark plug that has double contacts and one that has single contacts. Basically, the double contact is just for redundancy. So if one of your ground electrodes is for some reason not able to pass the electricity, then you have another point at which the spark can be able to go and ignite the fuel inside your engine. But on a single contact spark plug, if for some reason the ground electrode is blocked or it's just not able to pass the electric current, then you're going to have a problem and the spark plug will not work, and you don't have that redundancy where the spark can go another direction. So if you have a Super 2 or a Super 4, it doesn't necessarily mean that your spark plug is outperforming a spark plug that has a single contact. It's just good for redundancy. So even if you go ahead and put a single contact spark plug, you're going to be just fine. But if you want to have that safety of having multiple contact points where your electricity can travel, then it would be good to just get yourself a double contact. Even others come in a 4-contact pattern. Great, so now that we know about the contact points, let's talk a bit about what the different conditions of the spark plug could mean. If you find it slightly orange like the one on the left, if you find it dark like the one in the middle, and if you find it slightly orange, slightly dark, what does it mean? So the first one we're going to look at is this one right here, which is got a slightly orange color, and this suggests that this engine was running lean. That means that it wasn't burning enough fuel, and things that could be causing your engine to run lean are things like a blocked fuel filter. So fuel is not getting to the engine and thus causing there to be more air in the engine and causing a lean mixture. And also other things that could cause that is maybe a weak fuel pump. So your fuel pump is going bad and it's not pumping enough fuel at the right pressure to your engine, and that ends up causing your engine to have more air than there is fuel in it, and you end up having a lean mixture. The second condition is this one, in which your car is running rich. So you find that at the tip of your spark plug, it's very dark and it's got a very kind of sooty feel to the particles that are on the tip of the spark plug, kind of like the material that you find in your exhaust pipe. If your exhaust pipe is black, then that kind of material, you find it on your spark plug. Then your spark plug says that your engine is running rich. And basically what happens when your engine is running rich, then it has more fuel being supplied than there is air, and that ends up causing the engine to have a lot of unburned fuel, which ends up leaving this kind of material on the spark plug. So if you pull out your spark plug and you find that your spark plug is black with a substance that looks like the stuff that you find in the back of your exhaust, then you know that your engine is running rich. What are some of the reasons why your engine could be running rich? That could be because of a blocked air filter. So there's not enough air that's going into your engine. But also, if you have a problem with your mass airflow sensor and it's giving the wrong information to your ECU or computer box, then you end up having it supply more fuel than is needed, and you end up having a rich mixture. So those are basically some of the reasons why you would pull out a spark plug, find it with this black material, and conclude that it's running rich. I really tried to look for one that is in perfect condition, and this is what I found was, kind of the closest. It's slightly got that orange, but also got a bit of the black. That's kind of the perfect mix that you want. Normally, if it's a really new spark plug, the center electrode will still have the white there. So you have a slightly orange, slightly black kind of look. Then you know that your engine is actually burning the fuel correctly, and there's a perfect air fuel mixture, which means that your fuel system is running right. It means that your air filter is okay. It also means that your mass airflow sensor and all the sensors are working correctly to give you the right mix. So I'll probably put a picture on the screen of what a better condition spark plug would look like. But ideally, you don't want it to be completely black. You don't want it to have that orange kind of look that we had on the first spark plug, but you want it to be something in between to know that your engine is running at its peak efficiency. A very important thing you want to look out for on your spark plug is the gap, and that's basically the distance between the center electrode and the ground electrode. So this section here starts to wear out, and you find that the spark has a hard time getting from the center electrode to the ground electrode, and that can also cause misfires and also just unburnt fuel going through the system because it has a weak spark trying to get across a bigger gap. Another thing that you might hear about is long reach spark plugs, and that basically is just by the design of your engine. So some engines will have longer reach spark plugs. That just depends on how deep they go into the engine. They might need longer reach spark plugs, or you just get the what people would call the normal type anyway. So if you hear the word long reach, it's just basically the design of the spark plug will be much longer along here, and that's just how it goes into the specific engine that you have the spark plug going into. In this day and age, you need to really be careful where you get your spark plugs from, because a lot of these spark plugs have now been cloned by companies that are just trying to make a profit. So they make very low quality spark plugs, but still put big names, whether it's Bosch, whether it's NGK, on the spark plugs. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is make sure that you're getting your spark plugs from a shop that actually has a good reputation, a reputation that they actually care about, because they will only supply you with genuine spark plugs. And spark plugs are a very crucial component in your engine. You could have misfires, you could have rough idle because your spark plugs are not working well, and you end up replacing a whole lot of other things when the only problem that you have is that you are using spark plugs that are not genuine. So the average lifespan of a spark plug is between 50,000 kilometers to around 80,000 kilometers. That is when you find that it is necessary to replace the spark plugs on your car. Since Zambia is commonly known for having used cars, it's always best that when you just import your car, whether it's done 50,000 kilometers or it's done 80,000 kilometers, go ahead and replace your spark plugs to make sure that your spark plugs are running at peak efficiency. Alright guys, that was just a quick video about spark plugs. I hope that somebody enjoyed something here on the Z Gear vehicle maintenance series. Support the brands that support Z Gear. Get your parts from Auto Drift, and also if you have any problems with your car, definitely bring it down here to TuneX, which is Z Gear HQ. And also remember to buy yourself a sticker. That also helps support the content. But until the next one guys, take care and drive safe.